From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Hello and welcome to the 10 a.m. newscast. I'm Joseph Augusti, and thanks for tuning in. Heated exchanges between protesters and counter-protesters are taking place across the country today over school policies on gender identity. Posters created by a group called 1 Million March for Children say rally participants are standing together against what they call gender ideology in the nation's schools. Here are sounds of the protest. The protests are linked to policies across the country, including in New Brunswick and Saskatchewan, that require young people to get parental consent before teachers can use their preferred first names and pronouns. But the rallies are being met by counter-protesters who say the policies are a violation of children's rights and that transgender youth should not be outed to parents by their teachers. Mayor of Vancouver Ken Sim has released a statement regarding the anti-LGBTQ protests happening in the Lower Mainland. In a statement to social media platform X, Sim said, quote, "At Vancouver City Hall, we are proud of each and every one of our team members who are trans, gender diverse, or members of the queer community. Today we are being confronted by ignorance and bigotry, and we must call it out and stand with those affected. We can never allow ourselves to let hate win the day. So to all 2S LGBTQ+, we see you and value you. You are important and we stand with you." End quote. The son of slain Sikh leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar, Balraj, says that his father was well liked in the community. He mentioned that he was considered to be a jolly person with an iconic laugh. The younger Singh remembers his father.
He was also always standing out against injustice. He was never scared for his life because he always believed that, we've come to Canada, we've escaped these injustices from India just so we can speak out, that there's no need to worry, there's no need to be scared, we're not doing anything wrong.
The BC Attorney General Nikki Sharma says the province will be taking every step it can to protect people in the community from violence if they're under threat. Premier David Eby says he needed more information from the federal government so the province could protect people at risk, but Sharma says she understands the delicate nature of the situation.
I respect the protections that need to be put in place around information during a time of investigation, but what I do know is that this province and all of us will participate in any way we can with this investigation to make sure we get to the truth.
Statistics Canada reported today that inflation jumped 4% last month, which makes it the second month in a row inflation has jumped. CIBC Director of Economics Andrew Granith says the inclusion of slower grocery price increase in the report are some good news.
I do think that the rate of inflation for groceries will continue to decelerate. I'm just not sure if you're, the average Canadian, the average household, you don't want prices to just stop rising. You want them to kind of come down a little bit from these very high levels. I'm not sure that's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately.
Actor Bijou Phillips has filed for divorce from disgraced actor Danny Masterson, days after Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for 2 rape convictions. Phillips filed the divorce to the Santa Barbara Superior Court, petitioning to end her 12-year marriage. Masterson was convicted of raping 2 women he knew from the Church of Scientology. A Humboldt Broncos bus crash survivor has won the 9th season of The Amazing Race Canada. Ex-Bronco Ty Smith and his girlfriend, Kat Kastner of Calgary, won the race, whose finale was recently aired. Smith and Kastner narrowly beat Tyler Turner and Kayleen Vandery of Comox Valley. By winning the race, Smith and Kastner have won a $250,000 cash prize, a round-the-world trip, and 2 Chevrolet trucks. It's going to be a bright and sunny day here in Burnaby with sunshine throughout the day. It's going to be a high of 18 degrees with temperatures hovering in that area for the afternoon. And that was your 10 o'clock newscast. I'm Joseph Augusti for 1680 The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikka-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikka-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Hannah Miller became the first BC-born player drafted into the PWHL on Monday, when the new Toronto franchise selected her 74th overall. Hannah's career has taken her from St. Lawrence University in New York to the Kunlun Red Star in China. She even played for the Chinese women's national team in the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics and scored the country's first Olympic goal in 12 years. But now, the North Vancouver native is returning home to play women's pro hockey in a brand new league. I spoke with Hannah about her journey to the PWHL and what the league's arrival could mean for women's hockey in British Columbia. First of all, being drafted by Toronto yesterday, how exciting is that to be drafted by Toronto?
Yeah, obviously, super exciting. I think you look at the talent pool in the league, and just everyone who was entered the draft, and it's just first of all just like such an honor. There's so many good players, and then to be drafted by Toronto, I mean, get to stay in my home country. Some familiar faces there, which is kind of nice. And for the last little bit, I've been a huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan as well. So that's kind of an exciting part for me too, to be in that city. A lot of rich sports history there. A lot of already well-established, great professional teams. So I think it'll be a super exciting thing to be a part of.
And you mentioned coming back to playing in North America, in your home country and everything. You obviously spent the last few years playing in China. What is it like? What does it mean to be returning to playing pro hockey in North America again?
Yeah. I think I wouldn't trade my international overseas experience for anything. It was, it's amazing to travel to new places, meet new teammates from, all over the world, and get a different experience like that. But I think it's extra special after kind of being away for so long to kind of come back and hopefully get to play in front of some family and friends, which I haven't been able to do in a long time. So that's exciting for me too.
Yeah, and I imagine, but obviously you played through some pretty cool moments out in China as well, including in the Olympics and everything. And obviously your first season out there, I believe, was in the CWHL before it folded. And having seen how women's hockey has progressed in that time from watching from a distance, what do you feel about the PWHL setup specifically that sets it apart from some of the last few iterations of women's pro hockey?
Yeah, I think, it's just, everything is growing. Everything needs to start somewhere. And, the leagues of the past and the players of the past, everyone's been, a part of getting to this point. But I think now it's just, more backing, more professional, kind of just going to be done right. And that's basically having the, you see it, you can believe it, and you can be it. So I think, it's super exciting moving forward for all the young girls, and that's really what it's about is, having those young girls, those college girls, looking at something and seeing that they can play somewhere professionally, not have to get a job, and kind of look forward to that, continuing their playing career professionally. So
that actually segues really well into my next question, which is just what do you think that this league's just existence and what it will and how and the amount of media attention it's going to be getting over the next little while and everything will do for expanding women's hockey in North America?
Yeah, I think it's just going to give the players more exposure. Everyone knows about the national teams and the Olympics, and everybody watches that, and the rivalry series here in North America that Canada and USA has had. So I think just bringing the exposure to it, easier access to being able to watch games. And men's professional sports has had that for a while, and I think that's really the key. Girls are going to be able to sit down and see it. It's going to be in front of them more, and I think that's important to just have someone that looks like you, or have that representation. So it's more relatable, and it's something that you can dream to be a part of one day as well.
Yeah, and I imagine that is something that you didn't particularly grow up with as much as girls today are, and like growing up in the Lower Mainland in Vancouver, in North Vancouver and everything. What was the women's hockey landscape like around the Lower Mainland when you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, as far as watching hockey on TV, I definitely, was watching the national team and the Olympics and everything like that. And but definitely was watching a lot of NHL and men's professional because that's generally what has been on like mainstream television. But yeah, growing up in North Vancouver, I actually had really good experience playing for the North Shore Avalanche there, and going to provincials and playing in our local BC league. I think it was there's a lot of really good players out of that league if you go back who have gone on to play NCAA hockey or youth sports and national team as well. So some of my fondest memories are back playing with friends when you're young and you're just doing it for the fun of it, and that's kind of what it's all about still. Everyone has a huge passion for this game, and it's just amazing now that it's going to be able to be a career for girls moving forward. So it's exciting.
Yeah, where have you noticed the most changes in terms of the women's game, particularly in terms of the grassroots programs and everything, in whether it's here in BC or in just across the world? Where have you noticed that the most difference from, say, when you were starting out professionally to now?
Yeah, I think it's just the depth of the quality, right? I think it's continually progressing. Everyone's getting better. Even the younger players that I played on, Team China, the college girls or whatever. Everyone's so fast. Everyone's training more. There's more skill, and hopefully the numbers just keep increasing, and more girls keep joining up and seeing the exposure, seeing us on TV, and saying, hey, you know what, I wanna start playing hockey, and that's really what it's all about, because sports is it's an amazing thing at the end of the day.
What do you think could be done in terms of from British Columbia's standpoint? What do you think people could be doing, whether that's like volunteering or something bigger than that, to kind of raise more awareness for women's hockey around here?
Yeah, I mean that's a tough question. I think this league is going to be an amazing start. I think if there's just that exposure again, I know I'm saying it over and over, but seeing it on TV, having little girls just see it, there's definitely going to be a surge in interest in wanting to play sports. But yeah, I think when you're a kid playing, and it's all about volunteer. The coaches are volunteering their time, so just making sure that you have good people in those places, and they're making it fun and getting involved in the community as well, and kind of just bringing people together.
Now, obviously, I know you're not in charge of any of the upper management stuff, how the league operations or anything like that. But as just from a personal standpoint, how likely do you think it is that we'll see Vancouver either in the mix for an exhibition game for the PWHL at some point, having heard that there are going to be some neutral site games, or even an expansion team in the PWHL? How likely do you think it is we'll see that down the road at some point?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that would be amazing. To get back to Vancouver for an exhibition game or something like that would be incredible. Definitely very exciting things to look forward, and I think getting these 6 teams up and running and having a really strong first season for us, and then we can look to expansion after that. But definitely it's an exciting time.
And then I guess for my last question, I'd be remiss. You mentioned the Leafs being a team you really enjoyed. Who are the teams and the players that inspired you as you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think classic. I always loved Sidney Crosby kind of growing up. Just plays the game the right way, and it's just a fun guy to watch and kind of try to model your game around. But obviously, national team players as well. Haley Wickenheiser. But lately with Toronto, since he's been drafted and was in the NHL, I've been a huge fan of Austin Matthews. So. Yeah, it'll be exciting to hopefully get to watch some of their games as well and see their support for us too.
My thanks to Hannah Miller for her time. You'll be able to see her and her Toronto teammates in action when the PWHL drops the puck this January. I'm Lachlan Irvin for 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good morning, my name is Riley Lung and you're tuning into the 1680 The Crow. It is currently 10:30 a.m. and starting off, today heated exchanges between protesters and counter-protesters are taking place across the country over school policies over gender identity. Posters created by a group called 1 Million March for Children say rally participants are standing together against what they call gender ideology in Canadian schools. The protests are linked to policies across the country, including New Brunswick and Saskatchewan, that require young people to get parental consent before teachers can use their preferred first names and pronouns. The rallies are being met with counter-protesters who say those policies are a violation of children's rights and that transgender youth should not be outed by their parents by teachers. Here is some audio of the protests in Fredericton. The son of slain Sikh leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar says that his father has been in regular contact with Canadian intelligence officers, months before he was gunned down outside his Gurdwara in Surrey. Balraj Singh Nijjar says that the meeting started last February and had increased in frequency over the following months. In a meeting with his father and the RCMP last year, they were told about threats to Nijjar's life. Balraj says that his father has received hundreds of threatening messages over the years, telling him to stop his advocacy for Sikh independence or he would be killed. But Nijjar felt that he was protected under Canadian law. Canada's inflation rate jumped last month to a staggering 4%. StatCan reported on Tuesday that the inflation rate ticked higher by 0.7 percentage points. This is mostly caused by the gasoline prices increasing on an annual basis for the first time since January. The gas prices were up 4.6% in August alone. Also note that grocery prices have increased by 6.9% in the past year, almost doubled the overall inflation rate, but still below the recent high rate of 11%. A new Statistics Canada report says that 1 in 4 youths in Canada have been cyberbullied and it's taking a toll on their mental health. Lisa Laporte from Canadian Press has the story.
The study says youth who have been victimized online have a greater risk of depression, anxiety, developing eating disorder symptoms, and thoughts of suicide or suicide attempts. The report says transgender and non-binary youth, as well as queer girls, are at higher risk of being victimized online. Adolescents with chronic health conditions like asthma, epilepsy, or learning disabilities are also at higher risk for cyberbullying, especially if they live in low-income households. The report is based on data from more than 13,000 adolescents aged 12 to 17. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
There is a major cheese recall. Rita Foley has the story for that.
Kraft Heinz is recalling some processed cheese slices because part of the wrapper could stick to the slice and become a choking hazard. The company says there haven't been any injuries or serious health issues reported, but in 6 cases, people did complain of gagging or choking. Now, here's what's included in the recall. 16-ounce Kraft Singles American Pasteurized Prepared Cheese product with a best when used by date between January 10 and January 27 of next year, and 3-pound multi-packs of Kraft Singles American Pasteurized Prepared Cheese product with a best when used by date between January 9 and January 13th of next year. If you bought it, don't eat it. Return it to the store where you got it. I'm Rita Foley.
On to the weather. Metro Vancouver is forecast to have a nice sunny day today with 0 chances of seeing rain. It's currently 13 degrees Celsius with a high of 19 degrees and a low of 11. Thursday is looking the exact same with a sunny day, but a tad warmer with a high of 21 degrees. I'm Riley Lund.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikka-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikka-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.